Yo, it's crazy how a relationship can end, but parts of it remain with you. The person is gone, the conversation stopped, yet something changed. Maybe it's the way you communicate, how quickly you trust, or things you notice, even the way love feels. Nobody talks about this part, but everybody talks about getting over someone. What about getting over the person you became with them? Because the relationship can be over while the impact still lingers with you. Welcome back to Raw Over Romance. I'm your host, O. And here, we keep it real about dating. Tonight, let's have a real conversation about the relationship after the relationship. Because getting over someone isn't always about forgetting them. Sometimes it's about recognizing what they left behind. Habits that weren't there, fears that weren't carried, beliefs about love, maybe even things that never needed questioning. Half the time, we don't even realize how much came with us. Opening up takes longer. Small things start getting more attention. Making a delayed response can feel different. Silence can mean more than it actually does. Past experiences start influencing new situations, even when nobody gave us a reason. That's a strange part about relationships. They can change how we see ourselves and how we see other people. One experience could teach us something valuable or quietly become the rule that everyone else gets measured up against. And that's where things get messy because the next person isn't walking into a clean slate. They're walking into an expectation they didn't create. Reaction gets compared to something from the past. Communication gets judged by how someone else communicated before. Even a disagreement can start feeling familiar before it actually is. That's when the past starts having a seat at the table without even being invited. And nobody in the new relationship realizes it until sometimes something feels off. And when you can't quite explain it, maybe the problem isn't happening. It's what that moment reminds you of. How old experiences can quietly influence new ones. Because the past isn't still happening, but because part of you is still expecting it to. Recognize when you're responding to the person in front of you. And when you're responding to someone who isn't even in the room, it's a hard thing to admit. Nobody wants to feel like their past is running the show. But recognizing it is actually where you get your power back. You appreciate what that last relationship taught you without letting it decide what happens next. Take the lesson, leave the fear, and keep the growth. Let go of all the rules that were built for someone else. Because one relationship doesn't get to write the ending for the next one. Still, it's easy to say that until somebody new gives you a reason to question it. Old habits can sneak back in. Signs start getting noticed before there's anything to find. Guarding yourself just in case, or keeping one foot out. All while trying to give love a chance. And that can become its own problem. Being present while quietly waiting for everything to fall apart. It's not giving someone a fair chance. It's giving the relationship a deadline before it even has a reason to. And that's a tough way to love. Every good moment gets overshadowed by what might happen next, instead of enjoying what's actually there. At some point, you have to decide whether the past deserves protection or whether the future deserves a fair chance. That doesn't mean forgetting what happened, as some experiences, it did change you. It just didn't control you. But when someone comes along with good intentions, there has to be room for that to matter too. Otherwise, the past keeps getting the final say. And that's not moving forward. That's just carrying the old relationship into the new one. Nobody deserves that, especially not the person coming into your life. Honestly, not even you. The past should leave you with wisdom, better boundaries, and a clearer idea of what matters. What it shouldn't leave behind is a constant expectation that something will go wrong. Take what helped you grow. Leave behind what keeps you guarded. That way, the next relationship gets a chance to be judged by what's actually becoming, not what the last one taught you to expect. And maybe that's what moving forward really looks like. Not erasing the past, just refusing to let it follow you everywhere. That's when the past becomes something you learned from instead of something you're still living through. You can remember what happened without expecting the same ending. Move slower. Keeping somebody at arm's length, but have standards, and not turn every mistake into a deal breaker. And protect your peace instead of building a wall around it. At some point, love has to be allowed to feel like something new. Not perfect or guaranteed, just new. That's the difference between carrying your past and actually learning from it. You don't have to hate what happened to move beyond it. Some relationships will have scars. Others will have lessons. Either way, they don't decide who walks in the door next. So when something new comes along, give it a fair chance to introduce itself. Let the person in front of you show you who they really are. Don't make them answer for a story they were never a part of. Think about that. That's all I got for you tonight. I'm your host, O, and this is Raw Over Romance. Here, we always keep it real about dating. And if you're feeling this, you already know what to do. Until next time.
I've been keeping it raw over romance. Real conversation over slow dance. Ain't with the fake, I don't hold hands. If it ain't authentic, I don't do the scams. You gonna front, I don't play them games. I seen true love turn into flames. Just keeping it real, I don't need the fame. Raw over romance, it's not a game.